theory of relativity, a very shocking hypothesis of the great scientist Albert Einstein. But what if I tell you that in our scriptures there is a proof for a part of this so-called imaginative hypothesis, the time dilation? So let's dive deeper into the concepts of time dilation and reveal the hidden secret. The Puranic proof of time dilation. So, what is time dilation? Is it time travel? So, does that mean our ancestors could time travel? Well, not exactly, but somewhat yes, you can say so. So, what is time dilation exactly? For example, imagine that you are traveling in a car and see a nearby clock. You see that the clock's hands are moving perfectly. But what if the car was moving at the speed of light? Then the clock's hands would appear as if they are not working. It would be stationary. That is what Albert Einstein said. So he mentions that the time itself would have to slow down if we want the equation of speed to remain the same. For example, we all have learnt in school that speed is equal to distance upon time. So if the speed is doubled, that means the distance must have also be doubled. But that isn't the case, which means the only possibility left is that the time taken is half of the original time, and only then the equation stands true. Now this is just a simple layman example to explain the concept, but what if I tell you that there is such an example mentioned in our own scriptures? So listen to the story very carefully. In the Vishnu Purana, there is a story of a king named Kakudmi who was unable to find a worthy husband for his daughter Revati. So one day he conducted a Swayamvar and was looking for a worthy husband for his daughter, but couldn't find any man that was charming, skillful, and knowledgeable enough for his daughter. And one day he decided to visit the Brahmaloka, the abode of Lord Brahma himself, and asked the Lord himself to guide him on this matter. When he reached there, he saw that Brahma was listening to a musical performance by the Gandharvas. So Revati and his father Kakudmi waited patiently until the performance was finished. Then Kakudmi bowed humbly and asked for Brahma's guidance. Brahma laughed and explained that time runs differently on different planes of existence, and that during the short time they had waited in Brahmaloka to see him, 27 Chaturyugas had passed on earth, and all the candidates had died long ago. Brahma added that Kakudmi was now alone, as his friends, ministers, servants, wives, kinsmen, armies and treasures had now vanished from earth, and he should soon bestow his daughter to a husband, as Kali Yuga was near. Kakudmi was overcome with astonishment and alarmed at this news. However, Brahma comforted him and added that Vishnu, the preserver, was currently on earth in the form of Krishna and Balrama, and he recommended Balrama as a worthy husband for Revati. Kakudmi and Revati then returned to earth, which they regarded as having left only just a short while ago. They were shocked by the changes that had taken place. Not only had the landscape and environment changed, but over the intervening 27 Chaturyugas in the cycles of human, spiritual and cultural evolution, mankind was at a lower level of development than in their own time. The Bhagwat Purana describes that they found the race of men had become dwindled in stature, reduced in vigor and enfeebled in intellect. The king's capital of Kushasthali had been renamed to Dwaraka. Kakudmi and Revati found Balrama and proposed the marriage. Because she was from an earlier yuga, Revati was far taller and larger than her husband Balrama to be. But Balrama tapped his plow, which is his characteristic weapon, on her shoulder, and she shrunk to the normal height of people in Balrama's age. The marriage was then celebrated. Now, after listening to this marvel of a story, what do you think? Isn't it similar sounding to the concept of time dilation? When King Kakudmi reached Brahmaloka and went back to earth, for him only a couple of hours had passed, but in reality, billions and billions of years had passed. Now, doesn't that mean that in the Brahmaloka, the time slows down? But if this story wasn't good enough for a proof, there is another story in the Bhagwat Purana about King Muchkund. According to the Bhagwat Purana, the Devas were once defeated by the Asuras. They sought the refuge of the king named Muchkund, described to be as a great warrior and a pious man. King Muchkund granted the Devatas shelter until they rallied themselves under Kartikeya, the son of Lord Shiva. After their triumph, the Devas and the king of the Devas, Indra, expressed their gratitude to the king for sacrificing his privileged position on earth to travel to Swarga to protect the Devas themselves. But later, they revealed to him that an entire age had passed on earth, with the Treta Yuga now have transitioned to the Dwapara Yuga. They informed him that his family had all died. But they offered Muchkunda any boon of his choice for his services, with the exception of moksha, as it was beyond their capacities. Struck with grief upon learning that his family was no longer alive, and feeling exhausted after the battles, he asked the Devas for the boon of undisturbed sleep, with the provision that anyone who dared to disturb him would immediately be reduced to ashes. This boon was granted, and the king commenced his sleep in a cave. Wait, doesn't that sound familiar too? But at the end, the purpose of this video was not to prove the concept of time dilation and the theory of relativity, but it was only to tell that our ancestral civilization was at a much advanced level than us, and already had the knowledge of such advanced things. But wait. Before ending this video, I want to solve the doubt of a curious person. So, Nitesh Singh 9158 says that calling a religion Sanatan Dharma is nonsensical. So, with due respect, sir, Hinduism is a dharma, which means that which sustains life, and it is not a commandment written by a person in a book. So thank you for joining me in revealing the secrets of time dilation and showing how ancestral civilization was at a much advanced level than ours. So meet you in the next video. Until then, one time.